The bad news for today, the petrol price is expected to increase next month, but the prices of diesel and paraffin will drop, so that's a bit of good news. The AA says 95 octane is expected to rise by 11 cents, while 93 octane will go up by 7 cents a litre. Diesel, though, is set to decrease by 18 cents a litre, while illuminating paraffin will drop by 21 cents. Let's find out more about why this is happening from the Automobile Association of South Africa's Leighton Beard. He's in Pretoria for us this evening. Leighton, good evening, and I suppose the question would be why petrol and not the others?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a different process involved in the refining of all of these fuels, Yuveka, and you will find from time to time that the different grades of fuel, even different grades of petrol, are going to have different increases and decreases as those processes kick into force. And unfortunately, we are seeing an increase in petrol, but as we mentioned in our release earlier today, some good news is that the price of diesel is expected to drop in December, and that is going to have a knock-on effect on input costs. So we're not expecting to see any increases to goods or services or commodities as a result of any increases to diesel. So that at least is some good news. So
this would be a hike for petrol users. Leighton, are we expected to see more of the same as we go into the new year then?
Yeah, it's very difficult to say. I mean, the first thing I want to say, Yuveka, is that it is only the middle of November, so we have seen in the last 24 hours that the rand has strengthened considerably against the US dollar. 2 or 3 days ago, we were trading at 14.95 rand, just touching on 15 rand to the US dollar. Before I came in, it just breached 14.70 rand, trading at 14.67 rand. So the rand is going in the right direction. And if that right direction continues for the next 2 weeks, these increases we are predicting now could be smaller or hopefully could be completely eradicated. But obviously time will tell. We need to see what happens with the averages going forward. And again, that's going to have an impact going into December. What happens in December obviously will impact on January. I think our hope is certainly that for motorists there's a bit of a breather, but it's really too early to tell now.
All right, so these are just predictions based on what you're seeing happening at the moment and could change.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they certainly could change, and yeah, I mean, from our point of view, Yuveka, we certainly hope they do.
All right, and of course, if it does happen, Leighton, couldn't have come at a worse time for people who are traveling, those who can't afford flights, those who decide that they want to drive. I mean, that's surely also bound to just have, some kind of knock-on on the economy as well, in terms of tourism that we're expecting in December. Like you say, manufacturing and other stuff will remain untouched when that happens, but for the rest of it, the social part of it, not so much.
Sure. I think what we have noticed in the past, Yuveka, when price increases have come in December going into January, it has a little bit of an effect, but not a major effect. And the main reason behind that is that holiday plans have already been made. So by the time the increases are announced in December, many people have already booked their accommodation, they've already planned their routes to go on holiday, and they're not going to turn back on that because of an 18 or 20 cent increase to the fuel price. One of the things we would advise people, though, is to be aware of any increases if they do materialize going into December, and factor that into your budget and to your traveling budget for going on holiday and obviously for coming back again. So just be aware of the fuel price, and like I said earlier, Yuveka, hopefully with the rand strengthening the way it is at the moment, and with international petroleum prices flattening out a little bit, the picture could look a little different when we report back towards the end of November going into December and the official announcement just before the end of the month.
Okay, well, I'm crossing my fingers for petrol users, diesel users. We have scored a little. Thank you very much.